Okay, we're coming back to our Chronicles of Drunagor series with an episode 6, kind of mixing it up a little bit, where I'm going to be trying to paint more and get more videos out. That's my dedication to you as the fans. Speaking of fans, thank you to all of our YouTube members. You guys are awesome. Can't thank you enough. If this is your first time at the channel, or if you're returning to look at something else you want to learn how to paint, hit that subscribe button as my phone goes off, and I'm not re-recording this. Hit that thumbs up, hit that bell. But without further ado, let's go. Obviously, if you've been watching the channel, you know the first thing we're going to be doing is prepping and priming our miniatures. With the first thing, we're going to be scraping off some of these nasty mold lines. Now, if you have this game or you're interested in it, the miniatures are good, they're not great. So we're going to scrape off a lot of those nasty mold lines. And now, if you've been watching the series or been watching our Descent Legends in the Dark series, there's a big difference between the two types of miniatures. But we're gonna spray paint these, and I did it off camera, so we're gonna do it all in black and then do a nice zenithal highlight from above with white. I'm using Chaos Black and Corax White from Citadel, and then we're gonna use whatever you have to hold our miniatures to paint in, which I use Citadel because I am a freak of Citadel. Now, this is a quite easy miniature to paint. I'm just trying to give you some ideas to get it onto our table, or your table, whoever's table you're playing on. So the first thing we're going to be doing is using some Militarium Green, which is a contrast paint from Citadel. Now, this saves a ton of time. We're going to be using a lot of different types of contrast paint for this miniature and other miniatures in this series and going forward, because like I just said, it saves time. So cover all those robes in that green. Next, for our red areas, we're going to be using some Flesh Terrors Red. For our hands, which there are 4 of them, we're going to be using some Magos Purple. And you might need 2 layers of this, just depending on how dark your hands are. We want these to kind of stick out just a little bit. We're matching the tiny little card art that we can see in the game. For our blade and part of our face, we're going to be using some Black Templar. For our ash holder, or whatever it is, this reminds me of Catholic Mass, we're going to use some Basilicanum Grey. And for the skull that our Shadow Cultist is holding, we're going to use some Skeleton Horde. For our highlights, we're going to start with Niblet Green, which is a dry brush paint from Citadel, and this is just going to be a very light dry brush, really focusing on the top and more of the bottom portions of the robe, just to give it that nice green look. For our ash holder, we're going to use some Necron Compound, another dry paint from Citadel on that ash holder. If you want to do this on the knife, you can do that as well. For the arms on the front and the back, we're going to be using some Genestealer Purple, and I'm sorry for the out of focus portion of it. For the red parts on the inside, we're going to use some Evil Sunz Scarlet. And for our skull, because the Skeleton Horde was not that effective, because I got a little too dark, we're going to use some Morghast Bone as a base coat. Then some Agrax Earthshade to dull it down and get that wash in there. And while that wash is drying, we're going to use some Nihlakh Oxide on our ash, just to give it that old, very destroyed look, I guess you could say. And to highlight up our skull, we're going to use some Ushabti Bone. And your favorite part of painting the miniature, the rim of the base, because that means it's over. That was pretty easy. And there you have it. You did a good job. Now, I made this easy because you have multiple miniatures to paint. And again, the quality is good, but it ain't great. So we're just kind of getting that paint on there, and we were just kind of getting it on there, moving on to something bigger and better. So thank you for watching. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. Leave me a comment below, see what you want painted next. I answer everybody who leaves a comment, and I like to please people to see what they want to see painted. But until next time, paint on.